From the small towns in our community to the big hearts in our own back door. This is their stories. This is a part of their life shared with you. Community TVTN is brought to you by Security Federal Savings Bank, proudly serving the community we call home.
High-quality leads with prolific internet marketing and invigorating web design services that will energize your business. We are SiriusSEM. Call today or visit us at SiriusSEM.com.
My name is Summer Foster DeBeaux. I am the owner of Roxy's Restaurant. I am the mother of 4 children and 2 grandchildren. My mother was a ceramic shop owner, and my father was a truck driver. My grandmother was a big influence in my life. She ran a grocery store here in this very location back in the 70s to about the mid-80s. Whenever her grocery store burnt, she sold the land off, and it was several different businesses over the years, and whenever it was able to come back to where I was able to acquire it, I named it Roxy's after my grandmother. A lot of people know me by the name of Roxy because they associate Roxy, with the restaurant, but my name's Summer, but I answer to both. A lot of people see me in town, they'll be, "Hey, Roxy," and I'll just, "Hey," and wave back, but like I said, I answer to both. Whenever I was born, we lived here in Cannon County for the first 6 years of my life. I went to kindergarten over at Eastside, and then we moved to McMinnville, and I went to Warren County in their school system from 1st grade to 12th grade and graduated in 1995. I had my mother, whenever she ran her ceramic shop, she got sick with cancer, and she ended up passing away whenever I was 13 years old. She passed away, and I ended up trying pot for the first time whenever I was 14 years old. I ran with a lot of the wrong people, got mixed in with the wrong crowds. I had hung out with a lot of older people, and I tried meth for the first time when I was 16 years old. That led to a big spiral in my life. I battled addiction on and off for 20 years, and I have now been in recovery now for 9 years. I just celebrated my 9-year clean date on March 6th of this year, and the Lord's done big things in my life ever since. He brought me out of the darkness and set my feet upon a rock. I moved back here to Cannon County whenever I was 17 years old. My dad, he passed away whenever I was 18, and I've got, like I said, I've got 4 children. After I had my first 2 children, they didn't know me as a sober mother until they were 14 and 16 years old. I missed a lot of ball games, a lot of events, things that I can't get back because of my addiction that I used to be bound to. And it's by God's grace that He brought me out of that bondage and freed me of my addiction. Whenever it was 2013, I ended up going to jail. My best blessing was the fact that I went to jail on March 6th in 2013. After that, I had my best days ahead. I took the time while I was in jail to reconnect with God, and I was actually saved while I was in jail. I always believed in the Lord. He brought me to so many things and brought me through the things that He brought me to, all as part of my journey. And He had, He saved me whenever I was in jail. On June the 11th, I was saved, and I got out of jail on July the 11th. And whenever I got out of jail, I hit the ground running, trying to, work my program, do my classes, do everything that I had to do to get my children back. And whenever I was released on community corrections, which is one of the highest levels of probation that you can be released onto. And I'll never forget, whenever I got out of jail, the very first day that I got out, I spent time with my kids and with my family and stuff like that and everything. And the very first night that I was out, I had after I, went home and I was at home by myself for the very first night, I had this overwhelming feeling come over me, and I almost relapsed. And as I started to get up out of that chair to go, get that drug or, get whatever it was that I was relying on, as a coping mechanism, because I had that such overwhelming feeling, that I had all this stuff ahead of me I had to do. I didn't know how I was going to do it. And I stopped myself. And whenever I stopped myself, I just sat back down in that chair and I prayed and I cried out to God. And I asked the Lord to help me to be successful on my journey, to go with me on my walk, and to help me to get my children back, and just to go with me and give me the strength and to free me of my addictions. And He did. He freed me right at that very moment. He freed me completely of my addiction. And He put me in a position within that first year to where I was able to start my own business here. And I use this business as a platform to share my testimony with others and to tell people what the Lord did for me. And He can do for you what He did for me. And I love to take the opportunity to talk about Jesus, because without Him, I wouldn't be anywhere as to where I am today, because I owe it all to Him. It was nothing that I did, it was all Him. After I prayed about my addiction and everything, and the Lord freed me, I knew that part of my healing was going to be to be brutally honest with my family about the things that I had done in my past, things that I had hidden from them. They knew something was up whenever I was in active addiction, but they didn't exactly know what. Whenever I went to jail and that weight was lifted off my shoulders, I knew that if I was going to be successful in this and trust in God and be fully honest with myself and with God, that I had to share my story. I had to lay it all out there, and I did, and they accepted me, for the truth and everything that I had done and been through in my past. I worked my program. I completed all my classes. I leveled out on my community corrections within the first 2 years of being on community corrections, which there's 5 levels to. My children was placed back in my home within the first 6 months of me being out of jail, which was quick. They told me that I wouldn't be able to have them back in my home until at least the first 9 months to a year, but I was able to defy the odds and able to get them back in my home. I tried to be the best mother I could. Like I said, my oldest children, they didn't know me as a sober mother until they were 14 and 16 years old. And it was a whole new experience for them as well. Whenever I started my business and everything here, I had one person come to me and tell me, that I would never make it here in a business, that I had a past and I had been to jail and everything, and that was just the old devil speaking, And there's days, whenever you have to say, Satan, get behind me, Jesus is my Lord. I live for Jesus. He's the one I serve. And here 8 years later, I'm still here running the business, and it's all by the grace of God and all to His glory. I share my story, I share my testimony as part of my healing in hopes just to help, even if it's just one other person. I do a lot of stuff with recovery. I held good faith, I had strong hope. I just do things as I can here and everything, and the Lord provides. It may be the last minute or the last dollar, but He's faithful and He always provides for our needs. All we have to do is ask Him. It says, knock and that door shall be open. And, He does. He's the way maker. He provides. You just have to trust in Him. After, during my addiction and everything, I had, hid a lot of things from the man that I was with, the father of my little boy. And, I took, and like I said, I laid all that on the table whenever I had gotten out of jail, and we had to rebuild all that trust and everything. He was able to accept me for who I am, and He's seen me at my worst and He's seen me at my best, and we were married. We'll be coming up on our 3rd-year wedding anniversary this September. And He is the person that I truly feel the Lord placed in my life. He has an anointing and a teaching that I've rarely see in other people, and I just feel like our marriage was a union and a blessing from the Lord.
Hi, my name's Andy DeBeaux. I'm here at my wife's restaurant, Summer. Everybody calls her Roxy because she named the restaurant after her grandmother. And it's been an adventure. It's been a blessing, and the restaurant has brought a lot of people from the community around, and Summer has been able to tell her story. And it's essentially the Christian/American dream, that you can succeed. Her faith in our Creator has increased exponentially. And one of the blessings that we have is that Summer and I, we continue daily, and we're constantly in awe of how things transpire on a daily basis. And you cannot do it without the blessings of God Almighty. And it's really, really simple. There's nothing complex to it. Believe. You know, when Jesus walked this earth, he said, believe. He even asked people how they wanted him to help them. And the first question he would ask, will you believe? So it's simple, believe. Getting back down here on earth, I myself retired from the military. I've also retired from truck driving, about a 40-year career. Military was mostly reserves, National Guard. And tried to explain to the younger people to try and make plans for the future for such a time as this, because you never know how long you're going to live, you know. I stand here now, I may live another 30 years, or I may not be around next year. The point is that you have to take the opportunities that are presented to you every day and make good of them. That is an act of worship to the God of creation.
Our hours are Sunday and Monday, 9 to 3. We are open Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 9 to 6. Friday and Saturday is 8 to 8. We do have live music on Friday nights. We have a pretty good mix of music and everything, you know, and that's usually on Friday nights from 5 to 8, from about 5:30 to about 8 o'clock. So, and we have we do like meat and three. We've got really good burgers. We've got catfish. Catfish is my biggest seller. We do an all-you-can-eat catfish on Friday nights from 4 to 8, but it's also on the meat and three for Friday and Saturday. You may not want all you can eat, you know, and you may just want, you know, just a smaller serving, so we try to offer both.
One thing that I heard this morning that it really spoke to me, that I really wanted to say to everybody, you know, it's the saying, when we recover loudly, we keep others from dying quietly. And that's something that we have to be willing to do. We have to be willing to speak our story and to share with others, and just to tell people about the things that God has not only brought us to, but he brought us through, so that we can give others hope and let others know that we do recover.